Hello, this is Kenneth Nissel, and I'm here to talk to you today about using Entity Framework in ASP.NET MVC4. So we would want to manage NuGet packages, and then we would want to type in Entity in the search bar, and then we see this Entity Framework version 6. So go ahead and click Install, Downloads, Accept. Okay, this is pretty fast. Okay, great. And so now you see under references we have Entity Framework and Entity Framework.SQL Server. So now we're ready to connect to a database and create an Entity Framework. So you can put it wherever. Some people put it in models. Let's just go ahead and put it in entities. So we're going to go to Add, New Item, go to Data, and then this. And let's name it Timeslips. Okay, add, generate from database. So this connection is already set up, but if we wanted to set it up, I'll show you. So local DB, and then we're going to do that version 11.0, and then we're going to select a table called Timeslips. Okay. Next. And let's go ahead and select our table, which is named table, not the best name. And then finish. And what this is going to do is create an entity framework on that table so we can interact directly with the database. So we'll be able to, do CRUD on an actual database. So we can go ahead and close this, and now we're going to want to add a controller. So we go to Add Controller. This is pretty fast, so okay, let's call it Timeslip Controller. And we're going to use a template called MVC Controller with read-write actions to view using Entity Framework. So for the model, we're going to use the you have to build. So after you add Entity Framework and you create a connection, you have to actually build the solution in order to see the table in your controller. So let's try that again. Timeslip, and then we're going to do this. Model class is going to be the table. Data is going to be the timeslip, timeslip entities. And then we're going to click Add, and oh, what do you know? We have an error. MVC Scaffolding does not support Entity Framework 6 or later. So if you go to Microsoft, you're going to find that ASP.NET MVC does not support Entity Framework 6, and so you actually have to use Entity Framework 5 for scaffolding. So fair enough. So we need to remove that. So let's go back up here. Remove. And here's the tricky part. You've removed the package, but there's still some residual things in your project. There's something in packages.config that references that entity framework. You need to delete that. So one thing you need to delete also, you need to delete something called timeslip entities, which is in your connection strings, because that is going to not enable you to create the entity framework using 5, because that was actually the connection for 6. So you won't be able to call it the same thing that you want to. So now we can add new item. Let's call it Timeslips again. Okay, we're going to generate it. New connection, local DB. and that is a backslash version 11.0. Okay, so now we should be able to load our database names super quick. This is like warp speed as far as loading database names go. Okay, that's not gonna work. Local database. Sorry, you have to actually put version 11. Sorry, time slips. Okay. Now you see that we're using Entity Framework 5, which is cool. We're going to want to select our ambiguous table called table. Super good name. Okay. So this is okay, so it asks us if we want to modify the web. Yes. Okay, here's version 5. Let's go ahead and uninstall it. Okay, yes to all. Alright, let's just not worry about those errors. So we're gonna go to Tools. Okay, let's go ahead and install this. Yes to all. Yes to all. Now we have a reference to Entity Framework 5. That looks good. Let's go ahead and create this again. Let's go ahead and delete this. Let's delete this. Okay. Okay. Delete that. Save it. Okay. Add. New item. ADO. Timeslips. Next. Okay. LocalDB. Version 11.0. Great. Nope, that slash is wrong. Slash timeslips. Okay. Next. Tables, table, next. Finish. What does it say? Are we gonna get in there? Are we gonna be able to make it? Great, yes. Let's do that. Build. Add a controller. Timeslips. Okay. Model class. We're gonna call it table. Timeslip entities. Add. Drumroll. Drumroll. Oh my gosh. We have a CRUD interface for a database made directly for us.